Hello.
Beep, 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 beep. Morning all. Beep, beep. Here we go. What we got today? Bloody angry. That's what we got today. Angry. I'm angry and I am hungry as well. So I'm going to get this done and get some food down my gullet. For the love of God. Right, I'll tell you what prompted this. I lost my temper. I'm all on my own, losing my temper, smacking the couch. Right, I lost my temper with the marvellous Joanna Cherry. Now, Joanna Cherry has been a stalwart fighter for women's rights, a stalwart fighter against the lunacy of trans for bloody ages. The woman's, a powerhouse. And then I see a tweet, and it just sent me over the edge. Sorry, Joanna. I saw a tweet and it sent me over the edge. Based on this headline here, Phillipson calls for less public debate from EHRC on gender recognition rules. And Joanna tweeted, when she retweeted this, which brought it to my attention, "Oh, Bridget, I thought you were one of the good guys." Joanna, holy shit. Since when is Labour the good guys? They're about to experiment on children. They're about to bring in a trans away the gay bill. They refuse to reach the guidance, which is what prompted your tweet in the first place. And you thought these were the good guys? That's knocked me sideways. When are people going to realise that the problem is the left? When are people going to realise that? They're wibbling, unbelievable, undeclarative nonsense. Which, by the way, empowers the damn right. Oh, it's appeasement that causes the problem. So I'm having an angry rant this morning. You can ignore me after this. I'm just full of shit. But I'm having an angry rant. What have we got then? Phillipson calls for less public debate from EHRC on gender recognition rules. Well, what does she mean by that? Minister responds to calls from Watchdog's chair to approve new guidance on transgender rights as soon as possible. But she has urged the Equalities Watchdog to focus more on helping ministers do their jobs and less on having public debates as a row continues about how long it will take to implement new rules on gender recognition. Did Phillipson just urge the Equalities Watchdog to shut up about equalities? Because that's what that seems to say to me. I don't know what it says to you. The comments by Phillipson, who is the Equalities Minister as well as the Education Secretary. Could you imagine this woman is the Equalities Minister and the Education Secretary? I get filled despondent. She took the unusual step of urging the government to act with speed. This was the Human Rights Commission took the act to asking them to act with speed, improving its statutory guidance on responding to a landmark Supreme Court ruling on transgender rights. It wasn't a landmark Supreme Court ruling on transgender rights. Mind you, we are in The Guardian. On transgender rights, it was a landmark Supreme Court ruling that said, yeah, you've all been getting the law wrong. It was this all the time. It's not a landmark ruling. It's what the law was originally. I'm sick of this lying. In a decision that delighted gender critical act. What are you talking about? In a decision that brought common sense to the world. The UK Supreme Court ruled in April that the terms woman's and sex in the Equality Act referred only to women and sex. What a surprise, right? These bloody pandering ninnies to these gusset-fumbling nitwits and wispy-bearded, squeaky-voiced women. I've had it. The EHRC compiled statutory guidance on how organisations should interpret the ruling and sent it to ministers for approval. But the government officials have said it will take time to properly assess the 300-plus page document, 300-plus pages to say that men aren't women and they can't. It's utterly beyond me. But what you've got here, what we've got here, this entire thing, this entire interaction between the the EHRC, got to get that right, sorry, Baroness, and the left, including, it seems, Joanna Cherry, who's a sconce that the left are the enemy, is that here they go. It's the bureaucracy. They're just keeping it going, right? The whole thing needs to end. End it. Change the law. You're in Parliament, for God's sake. Stop fannying about. Children are getting hurt. Women are getting hurt. Gay men are getting hurt. It's hurting our society on a fundamental level. This entire boondoggle, which is everything to do with EDI and DEI, by the way, has brought our society to its damn knees. Universities are completely screwed up by it. The NHS is completely screwed up by it. Honest to God. Are we not aware of what we're fighting? Is it just me? Am I just a loon screaming into the ether? I think I probably am. I'm just a loon screaming into the ether. They're just keeping it going. They're playing a game, and they're all on the same side. The EHRC needs to go. The Equality Act the whole thing needs to go. Right? Because right now it is bringing us to our knees on every level. And they're pivoting as well to race next. You watch these crafty swine. I know what they are. Bridget, I thought you were one of the good guys. Oh my God. This naivety cannot possibly stand. This is not about politics. It's about culture. What culture do we want? Do we want a culture in the world where somebody like Joanna Cherry, who has achieved extraordinary things in her life and is definitely one of the best women's rights campaigners out there, has to go to the table to a woman like Bridget Phillips for crumbs because they refuse to recognise that this is cultural and it's not political? We do not want to live in a world in which EDI, DEI, identity politics, equity, all the rubbish that comes with it is how we run our society. And it doesn't matter who you support politically. Without us putting that right, nothing's going to work. It's all going to go terribly wrong. The only way to deal with the Labour Party now is to destroy them. They must be driven into oblivion. And if the Conservatives won't do the job, we drive them into oblivion too. Reform might do something. Who knows? Can't tell what they're up to half the time. There is nobody. Therefore, we get rid of everybody. We don't go, well, I'll stick with this lot because I've known them. I'm so angry. But I'm going to calm down. You know what calms me down when I get like this? Black pudding. I'm going to have some black pudding. Black pudding and eggs. There you go. So think of me this morning as I sit there scoffing blood sausages angrily. You tell me what you think, but I think this is insane. They're just keeping the whole thing going. It's the bureaucracy feeding itself. And it all has to stop. Every last iota of it. But that's just me. And tomorrow I'll be sweetness and light and human rights. I'll see you later. Bye, everyone.